from London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping bring you the motivation, inspiration, and some other stuff to help kickstart your day. Hoo-yah! This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Join the motivation. Join the motivation.
Good morning! What's crack-a-lacking? Somehow, by the meaning of time, Monday is upon us yet again. And what does that mean to most people? Well, it's the start of a brand new week, isn't it? Monday is regarded as the first day of the big 7 for the week. And more importantly, you have been given another chance to start something big for yourself. Something big for your family and loved ones. Making your life a better place to be. Happy Monday, everyone. I wanted to look at rejection this week because isn't that a motivational conversation? But before we even get to that, how about some positive stuff first? Some Apple Podcast reviews. Now, I sounded the horn and made the call. You, the listeners, replied. If you haven't added a 5-star review, you still can, plenty of time. I'll give you a shout out and the world will continue to turn with happy vibes. Our first review is from Deputy Podcasting Officer. Great name. And it reads, "This is a great podcast. Chris has done a good job with providing a small dose of inspiration and motivation each morning, which is boosted with a slightly longer topic later on in the week. The small 1-minute motivators are a great pick-me-up each morning, and a series of topics discussed each week help defog your thought process and see a positive outcome. Good stuff, and keep it up. Watch this space." Now that is a huge thank you to the Deputy Podcasting Officer for that review. Love the name. Really sums up what I'm trying to do with the podcast, and if you're getting that, then wahey! Everything looks like it's going in the right direction. Now our second review is from LeapFork101 and says, "Need a little something to aspire to throughout the day? This is a great way to kickstart some mental goals throughout your morning routine." Thank you, Leapfrog. Again, interesting name. I mean, what actually helps you create these interesting usernames? I mean, let's go by Chris Jaggs. Feel quite boring now. Thanks for the review. It is gratefully appreciated to both of you. If anyone else would like to drop the podcast review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or whatever it's being called today, please do so. Or if you listen on something else, drop a review. Let me know and I'll give you a shout out. Hey, don't be shy. Right, let's get that drop and let's get the show moving.
If this podcast had adverts, they would probably play around about now. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast.
Here we go then. So this week, I wanted to look at rejection, and in a way, it's a lot like failing. So maybe I'm actually covering two things at once. Multi-talented. Well, hey. When I was looking at putting the episode together and the topic itself, the term rejection is so wide. Where exactly do you start? Even the official word in the dictionary states the act of rejecting or the state of being rejected. Now, I thought that statement is so short for such a big topic. When you look up rejection on the old World Wide Web, most of the search results are talking about emotional state of rejection, being rejected by the person you've loved for so long, asking someone out for a date and them saying no. And while I'm not a trained counsellor, if you really do need some proper help with that kind of support, I would recommend you do just that. I mean, I'm good for a chat and an ear to listen, and any advice I'll give, to help involve fixing yourself up. But, the emotional stuff, I'm probably not the right person. But that aside, the reason why I can help you with the whole fixing up is that, you can wallow and sulk and hide in that corner, rock yourself backwards and forwards. Or option 2 would be get off your ass, fix up and get out there for round 2. For the record, I'm no good with people that look for self-pity. It does me in. And I really love those posts on social media. You know, we've all seen them before. Oh, I'm so angry. People piss me off. Or, why don't you just leave me alone? You know the ones. You've seen them. And it's the comments that follow afterwards. Are you okay, hon? Oh, what's wrong, so-and-so? Inbox me. You know the person I'm talking about. You see them. And I can see a smile on your face right now. Those are the ones I can't stand. Attention seeking. It reminds me of a pic that I've used across social media for Learn to Live. Face it, don't Facebook it. If you're upset, go and sort it out. You don't need to put it on social media for the attention. Anyways, so yes, I can't deal with self-pity, but if you want a structured plan, hey, I'm your man. The rejection I want to talk about this week is, when you're trying to chase your dream or your big plan and you hit setbacks. Things go wrong. But how do you bounce back against those stronger than you were before? What about when you've been hit hard after a period of time when you knew you were working yourself in the ground? All these types of rejection, they happen to so many people every single day. As the phrase says, shit happens. Deal with it. Is that 2 swear words in one episode? Shocking. Now, rejection is a word, well, it's quite powerful and can do more good than harm. If you use it in the right way, which, unfortunately, not everyone out there quite gets, and I mean, why would you? You get rejected. You feel like crap. This, my friend, this is human nature. Now, we all have that dream, don't we? Even the ones that, you're a bit low in self-confidence department. But most often, no matter the dream, most people just give up. I mean, you can achieve your dream when you understand why people give up in the first place, and rejection is one of the big players in the world of doubt and lack of confidence. So, regardless of what type of rejection you may have faced, we can all agree on the fact that you got told no in one shape or form. Remember, you don't need permission. You're going to get told no hundreds of times in your life. With every dream you have, there's always going to be some lazy slob that's going to be standing in your way. These are the people that you need to push through. Why should you let someone else's laziness or issues with your dream stop you? Now, bear in mind that last part. Why would you let anyone stop your dream? It's a guarantee that every successful person in the world has been rejected a dozen times at least. Some people, even more. If you've listened to some of the previous episodes I've done about people who didn't quit, you'll know what I mean. Normal, everyday people who had a dream and kept pushing towards it despite the setbacks. J.K. Rowling, a jobless single mum who fought depression, rejected 12 times before a book publishing company agreed to take on the Harry Potter series. Worth over $1 billion. Jack May, rejected from 30 jobs, including KFC, rejected 10 times from Harvard, failed school and college exams, became the founder of Alibaba, and worth, estimated $24 billion. Richard Branson suffered from dyslexia, performed poorly at school, but created the Virgin brand, and now lives on an island that he owns, worth $5 billion. Colonel Sanders. The KFC recipe was rejected 1,009 times. He ended up getting 5 cents for every chicken sold. 9 years later, around 600 KFC outlets in USA alone. And one of my favourites, Walt Disney, fired from the Kansas Star newspaper for not being creative enough. Bankrupt with just $40 in his pocket. MGM Studios rejected Mickey Mouse. And then obviously he went on to create the Disney Empire, which owns so much of the world now, so it seems. You see, normal people who got rejected time and time again, but didn't stop. When I think of rejection, there is one guy who instantly comes to mind. I've spoken about him before. You may have heard of a guy called Jia Jiang. He became famous for recording his experience of busting fear by purposely making crazy requests of people in order to be rejected over 100 days. His purpose was to desensitize himself to rejection after he became more upset than expected over rejection from a potential investor. Busting fear isn't easy to do. But if you want to have some fun while building up your self-confidence, this is a powerful way you can do it. You can learn more about the art of rejection at rejectiontherapy.com. Now, if rejection really does get you, I'd recommend you spend some time watching this guy. He's done speaking gigs, presentations, and his experiences speak so much about what normal everyday people go through. But how do you deal with rejection? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. There are 5 ways mentally strong people deal with rejection. Please keep in mind, yes, rejection hurts, but doesn't have to hold you back. Those mentally strong people, they acknowledge their emotions. Now, rather than suppress, ignore, or deny the pain, mentally strong people acknowledge their emotions. They admit when they're embarrassed, sad, disappointed, or discouraged. They have confidence in their ability to deal with uncomfortable emotion head-ons, which is essential to coping with their discomfort in a healthy manner. Whether you've been stood up by a date or turned down for a promotion, rejection stings. Trying to minimize the pain by convincing yourself or someone else it was no big deal will only prolong your pain. The best way to deal with uncomfortable emotions is to face them head on. The next one is they view rejection as evidence that they're pushing the limits. Mentally strong people know that rejection serves as proof that they're living life to the fullest, out of the comfort zone. They expect to be rejected sometimes. They're not afraid to go for it, even when they suspect it may be a long shot. If you never get rejected, then you may be living too far inside your comfort zone. You can't be sure you're pushing yourself to those limits until you do get turned down every now and then. When you get rejected for a project, passed up for a job, or turned down by a friend, you'll know you're putting yourself out there. The third one is they treat themselves with compassion. Now, rather than think you're so stupid for thinking you could do that, mentally strong people treat themselves with compassion. They respond to negative self-talk with a kinder, more affirming message. Whether you just got dumped by a long-term love or blindsided by a recent firing, beating yourself up is only going to keep you down. Speak to yourself like a trusted friend. Drown out your harsh inner critic by repeating helpful and positive vibes that will keep you mentally strong. In at 4, they refuse to let rejection define them. Mentally strong people don't make sweeping generalizations when they get rejected. If one company turns you down for a job, they don't declare themselves incompetent. Or if they get rejected by a single love interest, they don't conclude they're unlovable. They keep rejection in a proper perspective. One person's opinion or one single instant should never define who you are. Don't let your self-worth depend upon other people's opinions. Just because someone else thinks it's something about you doesn't mean it's true. And the last one, they learn from rejection. Possibly the biggest lesson to learn here. Mentally strong people ask themselves, what did I gain from this? So they can learn from that rejection. Rather than simply tolerate the pain, they turn it into an opportunity for self-growth. With every rejection, they grow stronger and become better. Whether you learn about areas of your life that need improvement, or you simply recognise that being turned down isn't awful, not as bad as you imagine. Rejection can be a good teacher. Use rejection as an opportunity to move forward with more wisdom. So, the art of rejection. Like I said, if you haven't been rejected yet, I don't think you come out your comfort zone yet, have you? Right, let's go after this. I still want to work with you. Let's get moving. Let's get your plan, your dream, and everything else up in the air and move forward, whatever it looks like to you. My calendar, don't forget it. ldlcall.com. Book your slot. I want to work with you. I want to work with you, and we can knock a rejection straight out the park. My calendar at ldlcall.com. Book your slot. Let's get working together. Let's get your dream. Let's get your plan, your vision. Let's get moving forward. Now, stay safe, people, and I'll be back tomorrow with another Daily Motivator.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at LearnDevelopLive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation. Motivation.